Welcome. You are on the right channel. In a tranquil neighborhood tucked away from the chaos of the city, where the rhythm of life moved gently like the breeze that carried the laughter of children, lived a man named Clement. This community, close-knit and vibrant, was the kind where doors stayed unlocked during the day. Neighbors shared meals without invitation, and every child was everyone's responsibility. Clement fit perfectly into this world. With a calm smile and a kind heart, he had become not just a neighbor, but a pillar. He lived in a modest but well-kept home with his wife Miriam and their 3 children. Children called him Pappy affectionately, running into his arms whenever he returned from work. Parents trusted him completely. He was the man they asked for help with repairs, advice about life, and care for their children when emergencies came up. Miriam, Clement's wife, was equally beloved, warm, motherly, with the wisdom of a woman who had raised not just her own children, but half the neighborhood. She opened her doors to every child in need. Her home, filled with the smell of fresh soup and the sound of kids' laughter, felt like a sanctuary. Parents left their children with her every day, knowing they would be safe, fed, and nurtured. She helped with homework, settled disputes, and braided little girls' hair while telling folk tales. Clement often returned home with small gifts, candy, books, toys, saying it was nothing, just a little something for the kids. At first, it was sweet. Then it started feeling excessive. But who would question generosity? He was good, wasn't he? Over time, something began to change, so slowly and quietly that no one noticed until it was too late. The children, especially the girls, seemed unusually attached to Clement. Among them was Dora, a bright-eyed, sharp-tongued 13-year-old who had grown up before everyone's eyes. Dora had always been confident, always first to answer in class, first to volunteer at church, and the loudest voice during evening games. But now she seemed different. She spent too much time alone with Clement. After school, even when her mother was home, she would walk past her front gate and head straight to Clement's house. She would disappear for hours, only to emerge when the sky was beginning to turn gold. Miriam noticed the pattern but didn't think too deeply. After all, Dora was practically family. Until the day that shattered the illusion. Miriam had gone to the market, just a regular day. She returned, hands full of plantains and yams, her mind occupied with dinner plans. As she entered the compound, something felt off. It was too quiet. No children, no laughter, no neighbors chatting at the fence. She paused, listening. Then she heard it, laughter, soft and awkward, drifting from the back room of the house. Curiosity turned to dread. She tiptoed, heart pounding, past the front door and around the side. Inside the house, she crept closer to the sound. That's when she heard the voice. Dora's voice. "Stop it, Daddy Jamie, what if Mummy sees us?" And then Clement's reply, "Don't tell anyone. You know I love you. Just lie down and close your eyes." Miriam didn't feel her legs move, but suddenly the door burst open. The room froze. Dora leapt from the bed, her skirt askew, her face pale. Clement turned, caught in the act, sweat pouring from his brow. "Miriam, it's not what you think." But it was exactly what she thought. She stared at him, speechless, trying to breathe, but feeling like the air had vanished. Her hands trembled, her stomach twisted, and all she could do was stand there, staring at the monster who wore her husband's face. Dora began to cry, pleading, "Mummy, please, don't tell anyone." But the truth was out. Miriam turned and left the room, her heart shattered into pieces. That night, she didn't cry. She sat at the edge of her bed, staring into space, trying to find the strength to survive. How had she missed it? How long had this been going on? The man who had fathered her children, who smiled at her every morning, had been preying on innocence under her roof. She wanted to scream, but no voice came. The betrayal was too heavy, too deep. It pressed down on her chest like a mountain. In the days that followed, Miriam moved like a ghost. She didn't speak much, didn't smile, but she acted. Quietly, urgently, she told the parents of the children she could no longer babysit. "I'm sorry," she said. "I need a break." Some nodded politely, others pushed back. "But you've always helped us, Miriam. What's going on?" She didn't explain. Who would believe her? Clement was still there, still smiling, still calling out greetings to the neighbors, still playing the beloved Pappy. She watched him laugh with children, and it made her sick. Dora had changed too. Once sweet and polite, she now gave Miriam cold stares, whispered to the other children, and avoided eye contact. The other kids followed her lead, and soon the air was filled with quiet rumors. Miriam has gone mad. She's wicked. She chased the kids away. The gossip spread like wildfire. No one knew the truth, that Miriam had caught a predator in her own home. No one knew the war she was fighting inside her heart. One evening, unable to hold it in any longer, she pulled Dora aside and asked gently, "Why have you been telling everyone I'm evil?" Dora looked down. She fidgeted with the hem of her blouse, then whispered, "I think I love him." Miriam's breath caught. "Love? Do you know what love is, my child?" Dora didn't reply. Miriam knelt, took her hands, and said, "That man is married. You're a child. He is stealing from you, your peace, your dreams, your future. One day, you'll wake up and wonder what happened to your life." Dora's eyes filled with tears, and that night, for the first time, she told her mother everything. The revelation was a storm. Dora's mother nearly collapsed in horror. Her screams echoed down the street, and when she confronted Clement, he denied everything with tears. "She's confused," he said. She misunderstood. But Dora was firm now. She didn't waver. And so, the truth finally started to unravel. Clement's mask began to crack. Miriam, though exhausted, stood beside Dora like a lioness protecting her cub. Dora stopped going to Clement's house. She became more reserved, but more focused. She poured herself into her studies, her friendships, and rebuilding trust with her mother. But Clement didn't give up easily. He watched her, waited. Then, one afternoon, he approached her after school. "Dora, please," he said, "I'm sorry. Let me make it up to you. Let's go shopping. Anything you want." Dora hesitated, then nodded. This time, she wasn't walking into a trap. She was setting one. At home, she told her mother everything. Miriam's eyes narrowed. "Take Lillian with you," she said. "Don't ever be alone with him again." Dora agreed. When they met, Clement looked surprised to see Lillian. "She's my friend," Dora said calmly. "Is that a problem?" Clement smiled tightly. "Of course not." He drove them to a hotel, not a mall. "Let's just talk first," he told Dora. She looked at Lillian, then entered the room alone. Before stepping in, she whispered, "If I don't come out soon, get help." Inside the hotel room, Clement's tone shifted. The charm was gone. He handed Dora a drink. "Just juice," he said. She refused. He took a sip to prove it was safe. Slowly, she drank. Minutes later, her eyes fluttered. The room spun. She collapsed on the couch. Clement moved toward her. What he didn't know was that Lillian, listening at the door, had already heard enough. She had texted Miriam. She had called the police. Within minutes, sirens wailed. Miriam arrived first, followed by officers. The hotel manager, recognizing the panic, unlocked the door. They burst in. Dora was unconscious. Clement hovered above her, startled. "It's not what it looks like," he shouted. But this time there was no escape. He was handcuffed, dragged out. The hotel's cameras had footage. The drink was tested. The evidence was overwhelming. As Clement was shoved into the police van, the neighborhood gathered. Whispers turned to gasps. The mask was gone. Their beloved Pappy had been a predator all along. Miriam stood quietly watching it all. Her heart broke, not with regret, but with sorrow for every child she hadn't saved in time. In the aftermath, the community struggled with shame and guilt. Parents wept. Children asked questions their parents didn't know how to answer. But amid the chaos, something beautiful happened, healing. Dora began to thrive again. Lillian, her loyal friend, became her biggest supporter. Miriam, no longer the grieving wife, but a fierce guardian, became a mentor to other mothers. She started a small support group, helping parents recognize warning signs and teaching young girls to trust their instincts. She refused to be silent ever again. Clement was tried and sentenced. His name became a warning, a lesson etched in the community's memory. The house he once lived in was sold, stripped of its warmth. Miriam moved with her children to a quieter town. Dora and Lillian visited often, helping her in the garden, listening to her stories. They called her Mama M, and they meant it with all their hearts. The neighborhood that once turned a blind eye learned to see more clearly. They watched more closely, listened more carefully, and taught their children not just about kindness, but about courage and boundaries. Thanks for watching.